What's up, horror friends? It's time for another episode of Damien Ruins Horror Movies. Today we are going to do the mother of all prom movies, Carrie. A lot of horror movies from the 70s, mid to late 70s, early 80s, immediately tackled big things in life, like the prom, or Christmas, Halloween, major holidays, and New Year's Eve, Friday the 13th. Easter got covered a little later, it seems. Thanksgiving, none of those were safe. And those seem like clear gimmies to go for because everybody can relate to holidays. Well, at least everybody in this country can relate to those holidays, and everybody outside this country can just relate to, I don't know, if you like horror, you like horror. I would watch a Korean film about a Korean holiday, even if it's something that I didn't necessarily relate to or know what it was. But before we jump in, Cool Dude Inc., that's where I got this shirt, and you can get it too if you go down there. Yours will not come with this coffee stain on it, hopefully. I had to do it myself. You want a coffee stain? You got to buy your own coffee. Check out the link below for some deals. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode. And you can watch this movie. I have the DVD. It's a Tupac. It actually has the remake on it too. Which coincidentally, like any pack of movies, I seem to own one of them already. Showtime is the only place I know of where you can watch it. This movie came out in 1976, 2 months and 9 days after I was born. As directed by Brian De Palma, who is responsible for a lot of other movies. He's got a lot of big award-winning movies, but then he's also got some that didn't do as well in the box office, but they're all movies you've heard of. Like Dressed to Kill, Body Double, The Untouchables, Femme Fatale, Domino, Black Dahlia, Femme Fatale, Mission to Mars, Snake Eyes, Mission Impossible, Carlito's Way, Raising Cain, Bonfire of the Vanities, Casualties of War, a bunch of Bruce Springsteen shit, Wise Guys, Scarface. Anyway, the film opens with the female PE class. Now, when I was a kid, we didn't segregate based on gender. And it seems a lot of 70s and 80s horror, when it's high school kids, there's group activities like PE classes. Which, are kids just not doing that anymore? There's horror now, if they're in high school, it's all phones. I got this virus. Oh, I got this email that says if I open, I'm going to... None of them are like in class, unless the movie's specifically about the group activity, which they don't even really do that, I don't think. But shortly after the volleyball game, we get the locker room scene. We get boobage within the first 2 minutes of the film. But when you're like my age, high school boobage? High school? These girls are not in high school. It's not so much exciting, though, at my age. It's more kind of creepy. Like, I feel like I should cover my eyes. Like, oh my God, naked high school girls. Now, yeah, like, at my age now, Porky's not nearly as exciting as it was when I was 12. Same goes with this. I just kind of feel like a creep. And I think it's good that I feel like a creep. And then it happens. Carrie has her first period. And I'm not talking about math class. I'm talking about her girly... I'm talking about Aunt Flo. Up until this moment, she has no idea of what that is. She thinks she's dying. And she comes out of the shower like, help, help. And everybody's just laughing at her. They're like, what? Yeah, it's her like, everybody else knows. And she's just late to the party. And it's kind of gross because she's got on her head. She's like clutching people like, help me. Like if I were if you're a girl and you know what that is already, and somebody who doesn't is just wiping their menstrual blood on you, just like, help, I'm dying. Like, get the fuck away from me. But nobody's helping her. They're just, well, they kind of are. They're throwing tampons at her, but like she's going to know what to do with that. She doesn't know that this is a thing. Finally, the Miss Collins, the PE teacher, comes in to help her, and she delivers bitch slap number 1, trying to get Carrie to calm down. And then we're off to the principal's office where Carrie sits outside and Mrs. Collins smoking a cigarette in the principal's office as they talk. I'm giving it a pass that she's like, because we find out at this point that she's 16 years old. And to me, that seems late to be having your first period, but I'll give it a pass because all girls are different. And it kind of goes with how her mom treats her like a child and all that. And I don't know shit about menstruation, so I'm not going to be like, this is so fake. Although I do think it a little weirder that if she's that much of an outcast that she's bullied, why is she showering in public? Unless it was mandatory. But I know when I was in 7th grade, it wasn't mandatory to shower in PE, and I didn't do it. But the fact that the principal does mention that she's a little old to be getting her first period makes it so that you can't question. If a movie, it's like in Halloween when Michael Myers is driving, and it's the clever thought is to be like, oh, why is he driving? He's been locked up since he was 5, yet he knows how to drive a car just fine. The movie does address it, so you're not really that clever. And same with this. The movie addresses that she's kind of old to be having her first period, so you can't be sitting around dwelling on the fact that she's 16 and having her whole period because it's already covered. Something else not really helping Carrie's case is her religious mom going door to door collecting donations for Jesus. Like, if you're an outcast and you're bullied and life is hard, having your parents do embarrassing shit does not, like, give you cool points at all. And although the remake of this movie, one place that they messed up, they got Julianne Moore to play the mom. They should have got Kathy Bates. It would have been awesome. Carrie's not going to go play no foosball. She would have been the perfect mom for it. They dropped the ball on that. Instead, they went with somebody who looked similar to the original mom, where they should have just gone the other direction. Kathy Bates, get her in there. So Carrie's mom is like, oh, you're a woman now. And she casts out the sin, and then she locks Carrie up in her little Jesus room, which not being a very supportive mom. The next day, Carrie goes to school, and she's off PE for the week. And the girls in the PE class, they are on detention, and the detention is run by Miss Collins. Miss Collins gives them a lecture about what they did was wrong and fucked up. But she's like, I'm going to make you guys pay for it. I tried to make it so none of you could go to the prom, but nobody went for it. So now you got detention. But if you miss detention, your ass ain't going to prom. And that's the bottom line, because Miss Collins said so. With 10 minutes left of detention, Chris, who would later be partners with RoboCop, has had enough. She seems to kind of be the ringleader of these girls. But she's like, I ain't doing this. Which leads to bitch slap number 2. Miss Collins ain't having any shit from her. But now it looks like Chris is out of the prom, and she starts plotting her revenge plan in her mind. And with nothing but good intentions, Sue talks to her boyfriend Tommy, the greatest American hero, and says, I want you to take Carrie to prom. Because even though Sue's going to go through detention and do everything that she has to do to be able to still go to the prom, she's still giving her date away. And in this movie, unlike the other prom movies I did, you can't just show up to prom with no date. That night, Chris and her boyfriend Billy, played by John Travolta, are out taking a ride, cruising. And we get bitch slap number 3. Chris gets smacked again. This time by her boyfriend, John Travolta, because he doesn't like being called a stupid shit. I don't like being called a stupid shit either, but I don't start slapping people. I don't start slapping bitches. Shit. Eventually they pull over and they park and they start kind of getting it on, and she's into it and then she's not, and then she is and she's not, and she calls him a dumb shit, so he gives us bitch slap number 4. And right after that, she hatches her revenge plan. Orally. So Tommy asks Carrie to the prom, and Carrie just kind of doesn't believe it, wisely so, and she scurries away. And Miss Collins finds her, and they have a little heart-to-heart. And Miss Collins is like, what's going on? What's wrong? Tommy asked you to prom? And Miss Collins is like, he is fine! But Carrie's like, I don't want to go. And Miss Collins is like all like acting like, oh, you should just go. It's going to be a great experience. And then when they get done talking, she goes to Tommy and Sue, and she's like, what the fuck are you guys up to? She's calling shenanigans on these two because she can smell shit from a mile away. And they're like, hey, man, we got totally good intentions. And Sue's like, I I feel bad for Carrie and I want her to go to prom and have a good experience. And Miss Collins like, I ain't buying this. Then Tommy finds Carrie's house and stops by and asks her again to go to the prom. She's like, I don't want to go to the prom with you. I can't go to prom. Then she can hear her mom like waking up. And she's like, you have to get out of here. I don't want my mom to come out here and you be here. Tommy's like, come on. Are you going to go to the prom with me? And so she said, okay, I will. She said it basically because she wants Tommy to go away. But nevertheless, she agrees to go to the prom. Meanwhile, Chris and Billy are at the pig farm getting a bucket of blood. And then it's finally prom night. It's the big night. But Mama don't want Carrie going to the prom.
They're all gonna laugh at you! Oh, Mom, who is? They're all gonna laugh at you!
And as crazy as Mama is, she's kind of right. But the problem is, this is why you have to establish credibility with your kids. That way, when you really have something to say, they'll listen to you and take you seriously as a person giving advice. But Carrie's mom's been talking crazy shit her whole fucking life, since Carrie has no reason to believe that going to prom is a bad idea. So finally she's like, Mom, I'm going. She started using her powers, her Jedi shit on her. And Mom's just like, all right, you're going. And then she leaves. And she gets there. And it's like a dream come true. It's like she's waited all of high school. Which she's 16, so she's probably like a sophomore. It's not like it's her senior year and 4 years have led to this. But still, it's that moment where you get to hang out with the cool kids. And it's like, this is it. Like starting Monday when I get to school, everything's going to be different. Everything's going to be better. All the time I've spent hating going to school every day is finally over. School gets to be a good place for me to go. That's what she's probably thinking. But she's wrong. It's also weird though because Carrie knows Tommy is with Sue. And Sue shows up. She's like almost spying on them. It's like she's trying to like, I'm going to see if he can be faithful or not. Some kind of weird shit like that. But Tommy is like saying all these things to Carrie and how they have a connection. And she feels he had a poem earlier that she thought was beautiful. But then he confessed it, like, because that's the only thing that she connects with him. It's like, well, deep, he's the good-looking jock and all this, but he's also smart. There's another side to him where he's this intellectual and he can write beautifully. But then he admits to her that he didn't even write that. But she's still on board. She's still taking the bait. And he like starts kissing her, but it's like, dude, Sue, what are you doing? And she knows about Sue, I imagine. She didn't break up with Sue to go to the prom. It's got to be like, I don't know why Carrie didn't ask that in the first place. Like, you want to take me to the prom? What about your girlfriend? She's like, that was never a red flag. I would go with you, but you have a girlfriend. That's the same shit that Lola in her Loved Ones couldn't get. Because when she gets her revenge on, I think his name was Brent, the main character, and holds him hostage, it's like the guy wasn't a dick to you. He had a legit reason for not going with you. I could see if he was single and told you off. Anyway, if you haven't already watched The Loved Ones, go watch it. I didn't spoil anything just now. I did a little bit. Sue is watching as Tommy and Carrie become prom king and queen. And we get bitch slap number 5. This time Chris, as she bitch slaps Billy back. Miss Collins notices Sue and she's like, what are you doing here? It's like, this can't be good. Your boyfriend's here with Carrie, and now you're sneaking around. Because it looks like now that Sue is involved. And even as the viewer, you're like, is Sue involved? Because they never show her involved, but it would make sense because she's part of Chris's gang. She's not involved, though. She has no idea there's pig blood or anything is about to happen. But Miss Collins kicks Sue out. She's like, you got to get out of here. You don't have a date. You have no right to be at this prom. Kicks her out, which is probably the best thing that could have happened to Sue. But it's at that moment where the blood dumps down on Carrie. And the pail hits Tommy in the head and knocks his bitch ass out. But now to the humiliation of Carrie, she's covered in blood. Knew it was too good to be true. And then her powers go off. And the bloodbath ensues. It's like watching a Sith Lord take revenge as she takes everybody out. And now the gym is on fire. And Carrie walks away. And as she's walking, Chris and Billy have escaped the prom. And they're driving. And they see Carrie. And they decide to hit her with the car. which results in them missing and getting into a car accident and their car catching on fire. It's a really weird looking scene. It looks so fake and sped up. But now they're dead. Carrie goes home to get the old "I told you so" from Mama. But she's had enough with Mom. She's gone far. She's taken enough, and she kills Mom, and the house caves in on her and kills her too, making this much like a very prophetic look at school shooters who get bullied and can't take it anymore, and they kill all their classmates. They kill a bunch of classmates and then go home and kill their parents and kill themselves. Basically, that's what Carrie did. She just didn't use a gun. She used her mind. But it precedes school shootings by, well, it's school shooting popularity at least by decades. And shortly after, we get the Sue Snell jump scare, which I remember watching this movie in the 8th grade by myself at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and that scare scared the shit out of me. I was completely not expecting it. And the real tragedy of this movie is, had Carrie lived, she could have been the lead singer of Korn. The Badass Award goes to Carrie, and normally I don't give this award out to the villain, but she was kind of both. She had everything that makes a final girl, Carrie had, you know, the I'm this timid thing to becoming this strong character, except she kind of killed everybody she went to school with. So, you know, that kind of hampers it, because usually the final girl's a good guy and lives. She was neither a good guy or she was still a good person, though. I think she's had enough. She was driven to insanity by those around her. The kill count I found out was 73, which may be the highest number in a single horror movie. And maybe it was a small town, but it still seemed like it would have been more than 73, because you have the whole junior and senior class are dead. The Gilligan Award, I hate to say it, it goes to Sue Snell. Although she meant well, had she just butted out and not talked Tommy into taking Carrie to the dance, probably none of this would have happened. What did we learn? Survival tales. Don't be a bully. Don't use religion to escape reality. Learn the difference between being a prankster and being a fucking asshole. That's it, folks. See you soon.